The first example also seems to drive, but it's different from the second. Why aren't you driving your hip correctly? Alright everyone, here's our mission today. First, we'll connect your arm to your body for total control. Second, we'll find the hidden engine behind a stable backhand. And finally, we'll unlock explosive forehand power by revealing the one crucial secret that most players get wrong. Okay, let's start with the upper body mechanics. How do you coordinate your upper body? Most amateur players move like this. Why is it uncoordinated? Because your hips and legs aren't engaged. For now, don't worry about how your feet move. Just focus on rotating your hips. And rotate your shoulders. When you rotate your hips, 50% of your body coordination is already there. When you add shoulder rotation, your movement becomes very fluid. It's that simple. First, emphasize hip rotation, and second, shoulder rotation. Even if you only rotate your shoulders without moving your hips, it's far more coordinated than just using your arm. Many players say they're uncoordinated and can't rotate properly. The reason is they've ignored their shoulders. Let your shoulders lead your arm. Keep both shoulders pointing forward, keeping a compact frame, like a self-hug, with your hands ready out in front. When you move to the left, your whole upper body turns left. When you move to the right, it turns right. When turning left, your right shoulder comes forward. When turning right, your left shoulder comes forward. Your upper body should rotate as a single unit. Keep the shoulders engaged. Turn right. Turn down. Turn left. Turn down. The movement isn't a disconnected 1, 2, 3 motion. But this is a common problem for amateur players. You must get your shoulders rotating to achieve upper body coordination. Rotate your hips for lower body coordination. Rotate your shoulders for upper body coordination. Pay attention to your shoulders. This is a very common issue for amateurs. Tuck the shoulder. Rotate the shoulder. Extend the shoulder. Rotate the shoulder. Extend the shoulder. Keep the shoulder engaged to lead the rotation, and your shots will be stable. If you only use your arm, the first shot might work, the second will be sloppy, and the third will be a miss. Your shoulders must actively lead the movement and rotation. Alright, now that we've covered the overall body mechanics, let's talk about the backhand. Many people find the backhand awkward. The first key is to lower your center of gravity, engage your core, and make sure you face the incoming ball squarely. Many players stand with their right shoulder forward, which only allows them to hit down the line. To hit cross-court, they have to flick with their wrist. Therefore, your entire body must be oriented towards the cross-court angle. Align your body with the diagonal angle of the court. Whatever direction the ball comes from, you meet it straight on. Follow the ball's trajectory, keeping your racket always in front of your body, not angled to the side. This is why you must not have your right foot forward. For pros, this is different due to their superior spacing and power generation. But for amateurs, you must lock your left side to create a solid wall and prevent your backhand from being overpowered. So, your body should be slightly angled towards the table, not parallel to it. If you are facing the straight line, of course you will have to flick your wrist for the angle. Bring your left shoulder and left leg slightly forward. This promotes a forward driving motion, not a sideways flick. So, you must use your body with coordinated force as I described. Don't be square to the table. Aim your body towards the angle to hit better backhand shots. That's the first point. Second, keep your hands in front of your body. During your backswing, your shoulders should be tucked in. As you pull back for your backswing, your body should follow your arm slightly. Your non-playing hand is also very important. Many players hit their backhand like this. I always say to raise your non-playing hand. If you don't, your power will feel hollow and your opponent can hit through you. The non-playing hand acts as a wall for balance and stability. If your backhand contact point is outside your body's frame, you will definitely make an error. So, you must remember to keep your hands in front of your body. On the backswing, let your body rotate back slightly with your arm. As you hit the ball, drive your body forward. Not upward, but forward. Then recover, and drive forward again. It's the same for penhold players. Ready? Backswing, retract, and extend. Retract, and extend. Watch the waist and core. Retract, extend. This in and out motion makes the stroke coordinated. If you are only rotating, that is incorrect. In a match, there's no time for a full rotation. However, not moving your body at all is also wrong. Achieving coordination on the backhand is actually harder than the forehand. The timing is difficult to master. So, during your backswing, you must engage your abdomen by pulling it in. Tuck it in. Then drive it out. From a side view, it's an in and out motion. The feeling in your core is tuck and drive, tuck and drive. Done continuously, it's very coordinated. This applies to both looping and driving the ball. This is the core principle of the entire backhand framework. Okay, that's it for the backhand. Now, let's discuss the forehand, because its body mechanic is very difficult. On the forehand, if you don't use your body, you have no power. If you can't separate your upper arm and forearm action, you have no speed. If you don't use your fingers and wrist, you have no spin. It's that demanding. So if you want to hit a winner with one shot, like the pros do, you can't rely on arm strength alone. Without using your body, your power has a ceiling, no matter how strong you are. Alright, for the body action, watch these two demonstrations and tell me which one is correct. Number 1. Number 2. Actually, both techniques are correct. Think of the first one as the first grade level of learning. It's like a teacher ensuring a student follows all the classroom rules, standing up properly, raising their hand to answer. The goal is to establish a highly structured and disciplined standard for every movement. That's why at the beginning, the coach tells you to pivot on the ball of your foot like you're putting out a cigarette, and to practice weight transfer by lifting and planting your forefoot. In my courses, I also emphasize starting with weight transfer for body movement. Why do we teach this? It's to get your body engaged and coordinated from the very beginning, so you don't just use your arm. So you start with an exaggerated motion to build coordination, pivot on the ball of the foot, lift the heel, and rotate. This is how all coaches teach young kids, and it's perfectly correct. However, once you can get your body to rotate and you feel that engagement, it's time to lock your lower body. Lock it where? You can try this move. When you pivot your foot like that, you can't generate maximum power. You only generate real power when your body is coiled and tense. So what should you do? Stop moving your feet and legs. Plant them firmly. Now, rotate from your hips. You'll notice my feet are not moving at all. If you keep pivoting your foot at this stage, your power will dissipate. That might work for slow balls, but against a fast ball, your stroke will be incomplete because your body rotation is too large, leading to many errors. So, once you can engage your body, you must immediately correct your rotation technique. Keep your feet and knees stable. Of course, if you can't rotate at all, you can move them to get the feeling. Once you can rotate, use your hips to drive your legs. As I said before, the hips are for rotation, and the core is for stability. When your hip rotates to the right, 70% of your weight should be loaded onto your right leg. Following your arm's forward swing, the hips begin to drive forward. At the completion of the stroke, the hip rotation decelerates sharply. Then you rotate back again, load the weight onto your right leg, and drive forward again. If the ball is on your left, you use your left hip, on your right, you use your right hip. So for your forehand, your front foot and knee must remain stable. You need to not only rotate your hip to the right, but also sink your weight into that right side. For a basic forehand drive, you don't need a huge motion, a small one is fine. But when you're looping a topspin, you need to sink back more. For a backspin ball, you need to sink down and forward into your legs. Watch my body position closely. Right now my knees and toes are pointing forward. When I rotate, my hip leads my knee to turn towards my right front side. The direction of rotation is not directly to your side, but to your right front. Look, turn your body this much. Your body doesn't turn completely sideways. Your hand should be behind your body. For an attacking shot, the racket must start from behind your body, with your hip pointing towards the umpire's chair. After you've rotated your hip back, you need to transfer your weight to drive your body and arm forward. The key is to drive forward, not to let the hip rotate all the way around. Don't just twist. Twisting doesn't generate power, it's a sign of inefficient force. You must create tension in your hip, like you're wringing a towel. Only by loading the hip with tension can you explode forward. Twisting won't generate power and will hurt your recovery speed. The second key point is the drive. The most important part of the body action is the power from your legs and hips. Watch the difference here. Here's the first way. And here's the second way. First. Second. Which one is correct? The second one is correct. Because the first one has no forward drive into the ball. The second one does. Look from the side view. The first example also seems to drive, but it's different from the second. Why aren't you driving your hip correctly? After coaching 32 offline clinics, I've concluded the problem is the leg. The first example is rotating in place. The leg is not driving forward. Your knee and thigh must drive forward. This is an original teaching concept of mine. If you hear it from another coach, just know you're hearing an echo. The problem is right here, in your leg and knee. If your leg and knee don't drive forward, can your hip possibly drive forward? If your leg and knee are static, just trying to thrust your hip is an empty, weak movement. Now, try driving forward with your leg and feel the difference. It's completely different. You can't just focus on driving the hip. That's useless on its own. Both your hip and your leg must drive forward. It's not hip drive, it's a forward drive. The power comes from here. Your leg and knee must generate forward force. The power transfer from that forward drive versus just rotating in place is a 50% difference in power. I'm not exaggerating. So remember, driving the hip is not an isolated action. It's a coordinated movement where your knee and leg must push forward. You're not just rotating in place. You are driving out. Not just rotating in place. Alright everyone, hope that was helpful. Phew, it's a real workout when you properly engage your body like that.